Welcome back to the Better Learning Podcast. We are continuing our conversations at EDspaces in Columbus, Ohio. We hope you're enjoying this series, and let's dive back in.
Tell us who you are. So I'm Robin Randall. I am the director of the learning practice at Leggett Architects. And what that means is everything learning from early, even before like 0 to 3, and then pre-K 12, and then higher ed, and then on to lifelong learning. So we do research, we try and do evidence-based design. And so my job, because we now have 7 studios, we just bought an Indianapolis firm, is to travel and make sure that all of those studios know about the great research and the great projects that everybody else is doing in the firm and then beyond. So I am a accredited learning environment planner, so the ALEP credential. I'm a fellow of the AIA, which just means I'm old and I've had a big career. And then I have a principal at Leggett Architects and also a board member. I've been there for 12 years, and it's a hand-in-glove fit for me. I love my job. I get to mentor people every day and just educate people about learning and how our environments can be better. So
That is wonderful. I mean, and you can definitely tell that you love what you do. You're not hiding it at all. It's you're beaming with it. So, tell me what radically student-centered means to you.
Oh, wow. So I have a daughter who is a little bit radical in terms of her politics. And she posted the other day, "What radicalized you?" And the answer was, "I said the Pledge of Allegiance every day." And if you think about it, the end of the Pledge of Allegiance is "and justice for all," right? So that radicalizes us, like to expect that an environment can be just for everyone. And that means accessibility, neurodivergent, early learners, seniors, anybody that's entering an environment should feel welcomed, should feel like this place was designed for me. It was customly, and it makes me excited to be in it, right? We've done a whole study of how do environments provoke curiosity? How do they support therapeutic environments? Like how do we make space better? And what we know, especially in the academic world, we know this, right? The Academy for Neuroscience and Architecture, it's called ANFA, presents science every other year about how important environments are to support humans. And if you think about it, an architect or a designer has a huge job, right? We're trying to not prevent learning. We're trying to not create barriers in the environment. We want to encourage people to explore and be themselves and be creative and curious in every environment. So we're trying to create those kind of environments that do that. And we're also trying to do a pre and a post occupancy study to understand fully what's the impact that we're making. And what's fun is if you partner with a behavioral scientist, you learn all kinds of things that you didn't think you would do. So we had a behavioral scientist do pre and post occupancy with us on a school, and we were trying to encourage collaboration. She came back and she was just like, "Okay, you improved collaboration like a little bit, a tiny bit, right? But what you really did is you lowered bullying in this environment." And I'm like, "How did we do that?" "Well, you designed pods. You're keeping the early learners and the middle schoolers apart. But when they're together, the early learners are actually making the middle schoolers behave better. So that you're preventing bullying because they're not going to bully their friends in front of a little kid." So a younger student helps behavior in a school. So they were worried about that because they combined an elementary school and a middle school, and they didn't know how that was going to work. And they were worried that the older kids would not behave well with the little ones. And it turned out they did reading buddies. They embraced their new leadership position. So it was a very positive thing.
So, in essence, you had findings that you really weren't even necessarily there to measure or to
We didn't know.
didn't know?
Yeah, we were lucky because she had incorporated a whole series of questions about the like before they moved into the building, how did they behave this way? And then after they moved in the building, how were they behaving this way? So the teachers took the same exact survey of what their expectations were and then what the results were. So it was, the closest we have to behavioral scientists to prove that our buildings are actually helping. And that's what we want. That's what anybody wants, right?
Yeah, for sure. And you're able to take that into your next project and only makes you better at what you're doing.
Yeah, and tell those stories like, okay, we're going to try this, but it may not be that this building does, but hopefully it does something even better, right? It exceeds our expectations. So, yeah.
Beautiful. All right, let's talk about what's a memorable moment when you saw students experience a newly designed or renovated space for the first time.
Oh my gosh. So, my colleague Kelsey reminded me of this project. So, we designed a space called the Therapeutic Center. It's 150,000 square feet plus environment with 55 classrooms, all for neurodivergent people. So the students are pre-K all the way to 22-year-olds. They're in an environment, in a public school environment, and they were spread out across 11 different districts. They had inadequate environments, right? And so when we created this environment, we interviewed teachers and students to understand what their needs were. And the huge breakthrough for us is that there were quiet areas in every classroom. Because the students, some of them get agitated pretty quickly, like they have different kinds of triggers, but when they're triggered, they need a place to calm down. So every classroom has a little eggplant colored corner. It's away from the light. And then it has special lighting controls so that we can turn the lights off. Some of the teachers put little felt manipulatives in there, soft seating. It's really flexible space that the teachers can use in any way they want. But what's exciting is we've learned about how well they use it in this school, and then we're applying that in like a standard public space, right? A public classroom needs that too. And what the teachers have said is, I use that space as well.
I might have spent a lot of time in that space when I was in the classroom.
I need to chill. But kind of the breakthrough with one of the students is the older kids were upstairs, and these are the kids that just can't, like they have different triggers for anger. And so they're in a classroom where they're just trying to stay chill all day, right? And they're trying to learn. And this older student woman, she shared that, the first couple of days I was in the classroom, I was needing to use the purple quiet zone. And so I'd go there and kind of pull myself together. And then now that I've been in the same classroom for a couple of weeks, I just need to know it's there. And I look over at it and I can pull myself together and I can behave and do my job. And it just reassures me that I know if I start to lose it, I can go. But I'm able to control myself a lot better in this classroom that I never had that before.
What a true testament to the power of space.
Yeah, the power of design, right? To support, listen to your client, and then create those kind of spaces. And what's cool is if they're not successful in the classroom, in the quiet zone, there's one in the wing that's a little bit bigger so they can be there with more soft furniture or something, but they do need to be supervised in it. It doesn't have a door. It's a little alcove. And then if that escalation, they can't do that, they have a big sensory room that they can go and play with different manipulatives too. So there's different phases of de-escalation that happen in the school. So they're not counting on it all being one thing, but there's a variety of different things. There's also 2 enclosed courtyards that the students can go in and that they can't escape the courtyard, but they can run around and just get their crazies out and then pull themselves together. And we know that nature is the best therapy. So being outside really helps soothe the students, help them focus.
I'd like to see that space.
Yeah,
for sure.
absolutely. Love
I'd
to
love
tour
to
you
see
through it. It's Therapeutic Center. I'll give a shout out. It's in Burbank, Illinois. And Aero is actually the acronym for the 4 high schools that feed into it. So yeah, it's a good group of people. It was a great client.
We need more of that everywhere. Okay, let's wrap it up with this final question. So, how do you see the radically student-centered approach evolving over the next 5 to 10 years?
So I'd love to have more science-based, evidence-based design, right? So I'd like students to be able to help design space. And they don't have to I think sometimes they think, oh, I have to be an architect to do that. No, they just need to know what helps them be curious and spark that educational criteria. It would be so much fun to see that happen. More interaction, more science and evidence-based design, what's working, what's not, so that we can finally have a therapeutic environment for everyone.
I love that. I love it. Well, Robin, we are so thankful to have you here with us today. And you got to come back.
Oh, thank you. And thanks so much for having me. It's been a thrill. You guys do such great work and you inspire me. I love following the podcast and I get excited every time. And the whole movie series is hilarious. I love it.
So fun. Well,
thank you.
Lots more to come. So stay with us. All righty. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us for this special EDspaces edition of the Better Learning Podcast. We hope today's conversation sparked new ideas and reminded you just how powerful student-centered learning environments can be. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to follow the podcast and share it with someone who's passionate about improving education. And as always, keep pushing forward, keep rethinking what's possible, and keep making learning better, one space at a time. We'll see you in the next episode.